I hate crime. I love redheads. This one's name was Brenda. Her red hair was a crown sitting on top of some mighty inviting territory. I met her in my office when she came to interview me for a magazine article. You know the type of thing. American private detective makes good in Sydney. What he thinks of our Australian women and so forth.
Thank you very much for the story, Mr. Kent.
Don't mention it. And the name's Larry.
All right.
Where are you off to now?
Well, I was going to have some lunch.
Allow me?
With pleasure.
Lunch led to afternoon drinks, then dinner, then dancing, then her dimly lit apartment. Radio turned on low. Everything else turned up high.
Larry.
Yeah. This is what sailors think about. This is what Santa Claus overlooked.
Your drink. You haven't touched it.
Don't want any.
There are ice cubes in it. Personally, I can use an ice cube.
That'll be sabotage.
You can wait till it melts. You've got no reason to be impatient.
Okay, Brenda.
Here you are.
Thanks.
The best.
From any angle, I agree. Cheers. Now, where were we?
Let's start all over again.
Okay. The last was just a rehearsal. This is the real performance.
You ought to get an Academy Award.
Well, look at the support I'm getting. And just look at
Yes?
this.
Something wrong, Larry?
Dizzy.
Oh, don't let that worry you. So am I.
My head.
Shall I get you an aspirin, Larry?
An aspirin, Larry. Aspirin. Get you an aspirin, Larry. Get you an aspirin.
That drink you.
Very nice work, Brenda.
It was so ridiculously easy.
Yes. Larry Kent, the great lover. Even so, I was getting more jealous by the minute.
You've nothing to be jealous about, Paul.
I hope not. You're the kind of a woman a man has to own. Halfway just isn't good enough.
It's all the way, Paul. It has to be. But what do we do with him?
I have a coil of copper wire that I bought today. I'll tie his wrists to his ankles, so it hurts to move an inch. Then I'll gag him.
Then?
Then tomorrow morning we do our other business. We'll leave Kent here till we need him. Think I can pass for an American detective?
You'll do, Paul.
You're sure he's never met Kent?
Positive.
How about the newspapers? Kent's picture.
He's half blind. Now stop worrying.
Brenda, The door. Glass panel.
That may be him now. Trying to read the sign on the door.
Get into the closet, Brenda. I'll let him in.
All right. Don't forget the American accent.
Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Larry Kent?
Yes, that's right. Come in.
Thank you.
Have a chair, won't you? Just here.
Oh, thank you. My eyesight isn't too good.
Oh, then let me help you.
I'm all right.
Well, now, something I can do for you, Mr.
Collins. Frederick Collins. I want to engage your services, Mr. Kent.
Tell me about your trouble first. I'll treat it confidentially, of course.
Well, to begin with, I'm moderately wealthy.
Yes?
I'm retired from business. I have been for a few years, ever since the accident to my eyes. All this may seem a little irrelevant, but I'm trying to give you the general picture.
Yes. Please go on.
My wife is a very beautiful woman, many years younger than I am.
And her name?
Brenda.
And is she the reason you came here?
Yes, but not in the way you think, Mr. Kent.
Oh, don't misunderstand me. I'm just trying to feel you out.
I see. Well, at any rate, here is the position. My wife is frightened, terribly frightened.
Why?
Well, for the past few days, a man has been following her.
And, does she know him?
She's never seen him before in her life.
Does she have any idea of why he's following?
No.
Why don't you go to the police, Mr. Collins?
Well, Brenda and I discussed that. We couldn't press charges against the man. He hasn't done anything. The police wouldn't be able to arrest him anyway. In fact, if they intervened, it would only put him on his guard and make him more careful.
Yes. And what is it you want me to do? Watch your wife?
Yes, exactly.
Does she know you came here?
Oh, yes. We decided on it yesterday morning.
And when can I meet her?
Well, she has a dental appointment. Won't be finished until 11.
Mm-hmm. Is it all right if I pick her up at the dentist's office and have a talk?
Oh, surely. Dr. Paul Stern, Winslow House.
Good.
And now, your fees?
Oh, we can see about that later. Tell me, where do you intend going now, Mr. Collins?
Oh, home. Oh, by the way, here's my card. Here you are.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Will you be at this address all morning?
Yes.
Alone?
Well, it's the servant's day off, but I'll be seeing a friend on some investments I've made. He'll call at about 10:30.
I see. Does your wife intend going home after the dental appointment?
No. No, she mentioned that she'd like to do some shopping.
Well, don't you worry about her. I'll see that nothing happens.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Kent, thank you.
I may phone you later this morning, but it will probably be this afternoon.
Fine. Well, goodbye, Mr. Kent.
Goodbye, Mr. Collins. We're in the money. We're in the money. We're in the money.
Nice acting, darling.
Yeah, should have gone on the stage, eh? Easier than being a dentist.
Well, you won't have to be a dentist much longer. I could hardly keep from laughing in there. My husband telling you that I was with you.
It's a good thing he never met his wife's dentist.
Good thing he never saw us together. Kiss for luck.
Brenda.
Oh, my darling. Soon we'll be together. Then we can enjoy his money.
There's a lot of work to do first. Quick work.
Everything ready?
Yes. I have Kent's gun here. And your husband's gun?
The desk in his study. I saw it this morning before I left the house.
Good. Now, Mr. Larry Kent. Luckily, my apartment is on the ground floor. You keep watch while I carry him out the back and put him into his car.
His car?
The one he parked outside. The keys were in his pocket.
You haven't forgotten much, have you?
Not a thing, Brenda. We can't afford to. This has to be perfect.
It'll be worth all the trouble, every bit of it. You and me, Paul, both of us young, able to enjoy life.
You and me.
Darling.
No, not now, Brenda. First, there's murder.
2 murders.
2 murders. Still here, Mr. Private Eye. Still nice and comfortable, eh?
Perhaps we ought to do it here, Paul.
No, the police aren't so dumb. They have to be killed at the same time and in the same place. What's the time now?
25 to 11.
Then let's get busy.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Collins.
Speaking.
Larry Kent here.
Yes, Mr. Kent?
Look, I went to that dentist's office, and I think I've found out who it is who's been following your wife.
Who?
Well, I don't want to mention anything over the phone. Is anyone with you?
Yes, that friend I was telling you about.
Well, can you get rid of him? Right away?
Well,
It's important, Mr. Collins, very important. He'll understand, won't he?
Yes, I'm sure he will. All right, Mr. Kent, I'll do that.
Good. I'll be there in 10 minutes. But I want you to be sure he's gone before I arrive. I'll explain it all later.
All right, Mr. Kent. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You look happy, darling.
Yes, I am. That, friend of his, whatever his name is.
George Williams.
Well, I heard your husband mention Kent's name at least 3 times. When your husband gets rid of Williams, no matter what he says, Williams will tie it up with Kent. That'll come in handy later on.
After 2 bodies are found.
After 2 bodies are found. I'll get Kent now.
I'll keep watch for you.
Well, here I am again, Kent. We're going bye-bye. Stop the car and go through all of it again, Brenda.
But I know every move by heart.
Well, let's just make sure. Now, when we get to your place, you crouch down low in the back so your husband doesn't see you.
Oh, I've enough sense for that, Paul.
Well, there's no need to lose your temper.
Well, you're talking to me as though I'm a child.
Brenda.
Sorry. My nerves are all tightened up.
Don't you want to go through with it?
You know I do.
All right. Then let's be positive we know just what we're doing. This has to be timed to the minute.
Yes. Yes, Paul.
We get to your place. I drive up the side, park next to the house. I go quickly to the door. Your husband lets me in.
Yes.
Then we go to his study. He sits at his desk. I take out Kent's gun and let your husband know I'm going to shoot him. Then he'll reach for the desk drawer. I'll let him get it open before firing. Then, when he falls, I'll take the gun from his drawer, carry Kent in, use the second gun on him. A case of murder and self-defense. But then what happens, Brenda?
We make sure we take with us the wire and the gag that we used on Kent.
Yes, go on.
Then we go out the back way, walking through scrub to the car you left parked off the road yesterday. Then we drive to your office in town, getting there around 11.
Yes. Then I open the front door of my office and say, "Please don't worry, Mrs. Collins. We'll have you as right as rain in no time." And after that?
I go shopping, have lunch in town, then go home and find 2 bodies. Scream, phone the police.
Yes. Meanwhile, I'll say to my receptionist nurse, "Miss Snyder, make an appointment for Mrs. Collins for Wednesday morning." Then Miss Snyder and I will talk about how timid you are concerning your teeth, how frightened you are, how much trouble it is to get you into the chair. That will explain my personal treatment of you when the police question us.
It's perfect, Paul, perfect.
Yes. It gives both of us an alibi that they'll never break. And we'll have witnesses galore. Miss Snyder, plus all the people who see you shopping.
I'll make sure some of the sales girls notice me. Then there's George Williams, too.
Yes. He'll be the witness to say Kent was coming to see your husband. Yes, it's flawless. Come, Brenda. Let's get on.
Come in, Mr. Kent.
Thanks.
Just over here. My study.
Uh-huh.
Have a chair.
Thank you.
Now, you said you had some information about the man who was following my wife.
That's right.
Oh. What is it?
I think you'd better sit down yourself, Mr. Collins. It's a long story.
Is my wife in some kind of danger?
No.
Then who is this man? What does he want?
There isn't any man.
What?
There never was any man.
I don't understand.
You will. Your eyesight as bad as ever, Mr. Collins?
What is this?
This is a gun.
Mr. Kent, if the American brand of humor runs along these lines,
I've never been to America, Collins, but I will go. With your wife.
What?
We met a year ago and we fell in love. I just thought you'd like to know.
You're not Larry Kent at all.
No.
Who are you?
Dr. Paul Stern.
No, not Brenda.
You know, you've been half blind in more ways than one.
I don't believe it. I won't believe it.
Well, I haven't got the time or the inclination to convince you. Hold still, Collins. Then I can hit you in the right place first.
It's over. All over.
Yeah.
You.
That's right, sweetheart.
Oh,
Just relax.
you.
Oh, bit me. Okay.
Oh.
Maybe now you'll relax, huh?
Kent!
Okay, Inspector.
So this is our dream girl.
Yeah, I had to give her a love tap. What happened to Collins?
He's all right.
And Paul Stern?
Dead. After he told us all we wanted to know.
Sleeping Beauty is coming round. sweetheart. This is Inspector Daniels.
Paul. Paul.
As dead as the nerve in one of his false teeth.
You.
Oh, not just me, the police force, too. Your boyfriend made some bad mistakes, honey. He should never have tied me with copper wire. You can pull and it holds, but if you work it back and forth long enough, it just comes apart. It came apart this morning at 9:30 when I phoned the cops.
We should have killed you in the apartment.
You wouldn't have had the chance. I was in the bedroom with a gun.
That was just after the inspector put some new copper wire on my hands and ankles. But even if I didn't get loose, you wouldn't have had a perfect murder. Why not? Well, the marks on my ankles and wrists would have got the cops to thinking about a frame.
Ah, thanks for admitting that we can think, Kent.
Well, I feel in a good mood, Inspector. Not like our friend here.
Take me away, Inspector.
With pleasure.
Brenda. Brenda.
You'd better get inside, Mr. Collins.
No, I must talk to her. Why, Brenda? Why?
Do I have to tell you? Almost blind, a semi-invalid? Don't you think I wanted some fun out of life?
And you thought he could give it to you?
Yes.
You should have waited, Brenda.
Waited? For the rest of my life? Looking at you? Living in the same house with you? Hoping against hope that you'd die?
You would have had to wait only for 3 months.
What?
My failing eyesight is only a symptom.
What are you trying to say?
All these days I tried to keep from telling you.
Telling me what?
The verdict of my doctors.
Doctors?
They gave me 3 months to live, Brenda.
No.
3 months.
3 months.
You better take her away now, Inspector.
Yes. Come on, Mrs. Collins.
Three months. Well, she'll have the rest of her life to think about it. If there's any moral in this story, I guess it's the old one. Crime doesn't pay. Unless you're on the right side of it. Like me, for instance. In my pocket is a check from Mr. Collins. And it's got some cozy zeros on it. I'll cash it. Then I'll phone a dame who doesn't know the meaning of ulterior motive. What's that? Oh, no. You see, she expects that. Good night.